I am offended. How dare you talk to me like that? How dare you say something like that to me? You've offended me. You've offended my religion. You've offended my race. You've offended my country. You've offended so many things. I'm mad. I'm pissed. How could you? How could you? You're a terrible person. I have fun with that because, you know, a lot of people do that. They get offended by everything. Everything is offensive. I got wine. That's not offensive. It's delicious. But, you know, there are people who just choose to get offended. And if you give in to people like that, you let them control you. You know, what I try to do is I always treat everybody with dignity and respect. And I know when I'm doing that. I know when I'm doing the best I can. But sometimes people get caught up in this thing of going nuts, trying to not offend people. It's like as if you're living in a prison. You're living in this little prison where you can't do anything and you can't say anything. You know, I thought about something when I was in Japan. And I thought about the fact that, you know, I know that in Japan there's all these different cultural rules and everything. And I thought to myself, I'm probably breaking every rule because I don't know all the rules. But you know what? I just simply was myself. And I did things and I did what I could, and you know, and that's it. I didn't worry about if people got offended or not, and I really didn't. You know, the people who I feel the most comfortable with are the ones who can just be themselves. It doesn't matter. If you could be from a completely different culture, just be yourself. Relax. Everybody senses that. They sense when you're just being yourself. I think that there are people who want to pick fights. You know, they want to pick a fight. They look for things that offend them. You know, the way that you pick up a spoon or a fork or something at a table, they find that offensive. You know, the way you walk, they find something wrong with that. The way you greet them. You know, when I'm dealing with people from another culture, I'm not afraid. I'm really not. Because I don't worry about all that stuff. I really don't. I think people focus too much on, you know, I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to be offensive. So you try not to. They try not to offend people. And so what you do is you wind up being scared and nervous and afraid, and it's like you're terrified. Relax. Lighten up. You know, if you have good intentions, people sense that. You know, I think that when I was in Japan, I don't think I really offended anybody. Yeah, I probably broke every cultural rule, but people also understand I'm from a different culture. They knew I was from a different culture, from a completely different world, from a different race and everything. No one did anything that I remember that was offensive to me, and I didn't do anything that I could think of that was offensive to anybody else. And I think it's kind of a plus that I didn't know a lot about Japanese culture, and I still don't. Because I can just relax and be myself. When I was on vacation, I enjoyed myself. I had a great time. I didn't worry about it. Don't worry. Just be yourself. And that's what you should do. You know, sometimes we get around people who may have some particular condition, for example, some medical condition or whatever, and people try not to offend you, and they try to accommodate you too much. People do that with me, for example. They know I'm diabetic. And so they go overboard, being overly protective. Those people are the ones I don't like being around because I feel very uncomfortable around people like that. They go out of their way and they go too far. No, I don't want people to change their routines or change the way they do things to accommodate me. Just be yourself. I can adjust. I can take care of myself. I've learned to be independent and to take care of myself and to do for myself. You know, I don't need other people to watch over me and tell me what to eat and be careful, don't give him any candy because he's going to like go into a diabetic coma. No, I'm not going to go into a diabetic coma. And I can't eat candy and I can't eat things with sugar in it. I just have to count my carbohydrates, but I'm not going to go into all that stuff. It's just that, sometimes we really want to do what's right, but I think sometimes we make ourselves scared. Don't be afraid. Just be yourself. Be yourself, accept other people, and they'll accept you. Somehow it just works out that way. You just have to know that it does work out that way.